Hey guys, welcome to another GameXplain discussion. I'm your host, Andre Seegers, and this time we're joined by Derek Finner and RogersBase to give our predictions for the newly announced Nintendo Direct. So let's get started. Alright guys, Nintendo finally announced another Nintendo Direct. It's about freaking time. Now, interestingly, this one is apparently primarily based around ARMS and Splatoon 2, but that's not all. Because if you look at their full Facebook image, they specifically say, tune in on April 12th at 3 p.m. Pacific time for information on Nintendo Switch and Nintendo 3DS, and a new Nintendo Direct presentation focused mainly on ARMS and Splatoon 2. So I think what that means is ARMS and Splatoon 2 3DS confirmed, right?
Obviously. I mean, if we get Pikmin on there, why not?
Yep, exactly.
Yeah, that's the big thing that I thought of. I actually just recently did a Nintendo Direct predictions video a couple days ago, and people in the comments were like, how could you say so confidently that we're getting a new Nintendo Direct so soon? And I'm like, dude, because it's about time. I know it's going to happen.
Nailed it.
And this morning, I got a flood of mentions on my Twitter of people being like, oh my god, Prophet Roger strikes again. This is amazing. One of the things we mentioned in that video was just how much 3DS content is actually still out there, and that we still need to know more about. There's Lady Layton, there's Pikmin 3DS, there's the new Fire Emblem game that comes out next month, There's Ever Oasis, which we haven't seen in a very long time, and that's their new IP, and there might even be like another surprise thrown in there too, so a lot of 3DS stuff down the line.
I actually took a look before we started this to look at what 3DS titles we have coming out, and I pulled out the big ones, and you mentioned most of them, but there's also Cold Scepter Revolt, which I don't even know what that game is, and of course the 3DS version of Fire Emblem Warriors, which is also coming out on the Switch. So maybe we'll get a little bit about that, but I kind of doubt it. I have a feeling most of the focus is probably going to be on Echoes if they're going to talk about 3DS titles, and maybe probably a little bit about Pikmin 3DS, maybe? They
have to now. Pikmin 3DS isn't an E3 game. I mean, it will be at E3, yes. It'll be playable, but it's not one they can really focus on at E3. So I think this is the time to really show it off a little bit more. Now, we already know they're not focusing on it, obviously, but I think now's the time to give us a little bit more about that game and show us how, how it's coming together. Because we haven't seen that game in forever now, it feels like.
I actually forgot, until you just mentioned it, I forgot that we're getting Fire Emblem Warriors on 3DS.
I did too, actually.
I don't know why anybody would get that version over the Switch version, especially when we saw what happened with Hyrule Warriors and Legends, but yeah, okay.
Well, because you can find people have a 3DS, whereas it's hard to find a Switch right now, so.
Yeah, but you still need a new 3DS. That is an exclusive to new 3DS. I didn't do that with Hyrule Warriors, but look how it ran on the old 3DS, yeah, so
that's true. So, my first question to you guys then is how much 3DS focus do you think will be here? I'm predicting we'll get maybe 5 minutes on it total. I think we'll get most of the games we covered, or at least the first 4. Fire Emblem Echoes, Ever Oasis, Lady Layton, and Pikmin. I think at least those will be featured to some degree, maybe a montage even. But I'm going to go on a prediction here and say there will be no new games announced in this. No games that we don't already know about.
I'd agree with
that. For 3DS?
For any system.
Yeah.
Oh, for any... Yeah, I think that's probably likely. Yeah, I think they're going to save their big announcements for E3 at this point.
Yeah, it makes sense. Focus on the stuff that's coming soon. Lady Layton is one I'm not sure of, because that has not received an official English release yet.
Well,
all we know is it's coming out in Japan. So if we do get an announcement, it would be Lady Layton as far as coming. And I certainly hope that's the case, because I really want to play that game, and I love the Layton series. So come on, Nintendo, make it happen. Bring us Lady Layton.
And actually, in terms of 3DS games that I really want to play that we still have not yet heard about the English release for, where the hell is Detective Pikachu?
Yeah.
Where is that game?
That's a great question.
Like, even in Japan, they haven't gotten episode 2 yet, because it turned out that was an episodic game. And
right.
I played through the Japanese version, and it's fun. It's entertaining. It's really charming. Why aren't they pushing this yet anymore?
You know what? I think this calls for getting Detective Pikachu on the case.
But he's missing, so we're in trouble.
That's right, yeah. We have to find him first.
I'm going to predict that that's not going to make an appearance. Again.
Yeah. No,
yeah, I think that's
if they're going to show off Detective Pikachu, that definitely feels more like an E3 announcement.
Yeah, I feel like that is too.
I mean, it's not as big of a game, but it still feels like an E3. Like anything Pokemon's E3, something brand new.
Yeah, I agree with that. I mean, it feels kind of weird talking about the 3DS being at E3 in any capacity, just because it feels like such old news, but it will be. And I think, yeah, that is a time and place for Detective Pikachu. Do you guys think, so I know you already touched on it briefly, Derek, do you think we will see much more Fire Emblem Heroes in this Direct? Oh, sorry, Warriors. I'm sorry, Warriors.
Warriors, maybe another little tease showing off a character or something like that, but that feels more E3-ish to me.
Yeah.
That just, like, if you're going to do a blowout, do it at E3, show off what you can do, have a set of characters you can play as. I almost guarantee Lynn would be playable because she's been winning all those heroes polls as far as popularity. Like, I think she even beat out Lynn, which is not Lynn. She even beat out Lucina, which is pretty impressive considering how popular Lucina is. So that's what I'd expect as far as Fire Emblem Warriors, to hold on and wait. For 3DS though, maybe even for Switch, who knows? Do you think they'll tease the next Pokemon game?
No.
No,
nope.
absolutely.
No
I
chance.
think that is absolutely going to be a big E3 announcement. I think people are not going to expect it, like in the mainstream, who haven't been following all those like leaks and people talking about Pokemon Stars. I thoroughly believe we're getting that at E3, and that's going to be like a giant blowout for them. So I really don't think that's going to happen here.
I said before, once they announce a mainstream Pokemon game for Nintendo Switch, it's game over. That's not happening during this Direct. That's not happening outside of E3.
Considering how successful the Switch has been so far, too, like, I think we all expected that the Switch was going to be more successful than Wii U, but I don't know about you guys, I certainly did not expect the Switch to take off in the way that it has.
Yeah.
And it makes me really excited, because now I see, like, other developers talking about wanting to port their games to the systems, and I really do think E3 is going to be an exciting time for them. But bringing it back to the Nintendo Direct that's upcoming, I do actually believe them when they say the main focus is going to be on Splatoon 2 and ARMS, and I have a feeling that both of those games are probably going to get like 20 minutes or maybe like 15 minutes worth of time,
each?
And then the final 5 minutes each, yeah.
Okay.
And I think the final 5 minutes will be like 3DS titles and maybe a Switch title that we already know about.
Interesting.
And that could be. You see, the stuff for Switch, I don't expect games or anything like that beyond Splatoon 2 and ARMS. I'm actually expecting, like, here's an indication of when the Virtual Console is going to come out, or here's this new feature, or here's themes, that kind of thing.
Oh, that'd be nice.
I hope so.
I mean, now's kind of time when they should be talking about that stuff, with Mario Kart coming out in just 2 weeks. And ARMS coming up very soon as well, and Splatoon 2. We have all these online games coming, and we have no idea how voice chat works yet, or rather, you know, how fully that's going to work and when that's going to work. We need this. We need this information. So, do you think we'll get more details about that this time?
Yeah, absolutely.
Right.
I think they'll probably tie it in with the Splatoon 2 and ARMS stuff. Like, I think maybe they'll show a new feature of Splatoon and be like, by the way, this is a new feature of our new online, our new online system. This is something you could do with our platform. And maybe that's how they introduce the stuff, and they don't end up doing like a blowout thing explaining all the different features of it, and they just tie it in some way with what we're already going to get announced for those 2 games.
So, Roger, I like how you already blocked out the times for each segment. I mostly agree with that. I think 15 minutes is a little bit extreme, though. I'm going to say we'll probably get 7 to 8 minutes on both of those games, ARMS and Splatoon 2. Maybe 10.
How long do you think the Direct is going to be then?
I think the Direct will only be 30 minutes or so.
Okay, I am guessing it's going to be 45.
45.
I think this is going to be a pretty hefty one. We haven't seen a lot of either of these games, really, and even like they've been doling out information about ARMS, but it's just been on the same characters that we already have known about for forever. And with Splatoon 2, we just had the test fire, so I think that's coming out sooner than a lot of people expect. I know a lot of people are talking about that game coming out in summer. I could very easily see that being the end of May, early June. The only thing that's kind of making me question that is from what I've been hearing about ARMS and the fact that we really don't have a lot of information on it still, I have a feeling ARMS is going to be pushed to late May, early June, and that will cause a push for Splatoon 2 probably into sometime in July.
What do you mean by push? Because ARMS has always been announced for its spring release, and spring actually ends like right around when E3 ends. So So
I say push because I think a lot of people expected it a while ago in early May, and I don't think it's going to be that. I think it's going to be like very tail end of spring as opposed to smack dab in the middle of it. And Splatoon, when people, they always have said it's going to be a summer game. I think it's going to be on the very early end of summer, unless they sort of want to space out the releases, considering Splatoon 2 and ARMS are huge, and there may not be something coming right after. ARMS would probably come before Splatoon, so right after Splatoon. Maybe they'd want to push that a little bit later. Yeah,
I mean, ARMS is definitely coming before Splatoon, because Splatoon is summer. Yeah. So my prediction actually is, I don't think we'll get ARMS in May. I think it will be early June, and I think Splatoon will be closer to a late summer title. I'm thinking August at the earliest, perhaps September, just because I think they do want to avoid those gaps, or like these really lengthy gaps.
And Nintendo has said they want to focus on having just a steady stream of games to play. That's why they've been spacing out the indie games as they have, where it's just like 1 or 2 indie games, even on the the eShop, in order for people to have something to play and enjoy, and they're ready, and there's something there. And I could totally see them doing the same thing with the bigger releases, such as ARMS and Splatoon 2. So I do expect ARMS at least by the end of May. That's sort of what I'm expecting.
Within 1 month of Mario Kart? So that's why I don't think we're going to get it in May. That's...
I mean, it's really hard to say, because the thing with Mario Kart is, while there's a lot of new stuff to it, it's also a port. ARMS is brand new.
Yeah, but it's Mario Kart.
True. Very true. Okay, then let's go even further with this. During this Direct, do you think they'll actually show the release date of ARMS?
Yes.
Yes.
They will.
Yeah.
I think they have to.
Honestly, what I'm sort of expecting to see is, if we don't get ARMS in May, then sometime in June, and use May for a demo. I'm honestly expecting to have some kind of demo for ARMS announced during this Direct. That's going to be one of my predictions, because this feels like a game kind of like Splatoon in its test fire. You really want to get people to try and have an idea of exactly what you're going to be doing, how this game plays, how you're fighting each other, and maybe even having some online battles so you can test out the online, see how it does. It feels like if they want the success to be successful, they should get that demo out there and let people play. Because I hear everybody that's played ARMS, it's clicked for them and they've really enjoyed it. And I think that would help just sell the concept.
I totally agree. I think it would be, if they announced a demo coming out within just a few days of this Direct, that would be so epic. Especially because I feel like we're in a bit of a drought right now. I say drought loosely, I don't think it's like really that bad. But it does feel like, we said before, I feel like this would have been the perfect time to release Mario Kart. End of April feels a little bit too long. That's 2 full months between Zelda and next major first-party game. Now is a good time to have another demo. We have Splatoon already, let's get ARMS in there, and then move on to Mario Kart. That'll be perfect.
Yeah, I agree with that.
Do you guys think we'll see any other Switch games really outside of ARMS and Splatoon 2, and maybe Fire Emblem? I think we'll definitely see some Mario Kart here. Not much, because that's coming out so soon, but I think that'll definitely be mentioned. Probably, shown. We just got those new previews, so I don't think they'll focus on it too much.
Yeah, I mean, they'll probably go over the stuff that's mentioned in those previews, like with the pink sparks and how everything's unlockable, and like this new guidance mode, stuff like that. I'm sure they'll just pay it lip service and get you an idea of exactly what you're in for when it comes to Mario Kart 8 Deluxe.
Yeah, I mean, that seems like a safe bet too.
Do you think we'll get any more teasers of upcoming content like Mario Odyssey or Xenoblade?
No, not Mario Odyssey. I think Mario Odyssey is definitely E3.
Yeah, I can't see it. I can see Fire Emblem Warriors just because we haven't gotten much, but we've actually seen a fair. Not even that we've seen much of Xenoblade Chronicles 2, but that who knows how far off that game is, and I don't. There was some very wide gaps between information for Xenoblade Chronicles X. But granted, it's supposed to come out this year, but nobody believes that.
I was going to say, do you believe that? Because I don't for a second.
Yep,
yeah. I think if it comes out this year, I could see it coming out on like the final day of December in Japan only, and then we end up getting it in summer at some point. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Well, I will actually go out on a limb here then and say I do predict we'll get some kind of teaser for Mario Odyssey, just because I feel like we are dealing with a different Nintendo now. That is more willing to tease upcoming content, like even content that's not in the immediate future. I think they are. I think we may see something from Mario Odyssey, and I hope we do. Like, God, I want that game so bad.
Yeah, I think especially after Yooka-Laylee right now too, because Yooka-Laylee's had some pretty mixed reactions.
Yeah.
But people still are craving that new 3D platformer, and it feels like Mario Odyssey is becoming the game that we wanted Yooka-Laylee to be.
It's true.
Which is going to be the thing that like causes the rebirth of good 3D platformers.
I gotta hope so.
Yeah, I would love to see a teaser. Yeah,
absolutely.
I mean, what kind of teaser would you like? The kind of teaser I would think was just, with all the hat focus, give him the wing cap. Just have a short 10 seconds of him flying through one of the levels.
Oh my God.
The
wing cap would be so good.
So good.
And Andre would lose his mind.
I totally would.
If I hear a remix of Bowser Road from Mario 64 and he's flying around the wing cap or he puts on the Metal Mario hat, it's over. It's over.
Best game ever right there. I mean, I don't need to see anything else. That's all I need. All right. Would you guys have any more general predictions, or should we dive into more super specific stuff for ARMS and Splatoon 2, maybe?
Yeah, let's dive into the specifics because I have a lot of things I want to say.
Oh, let's have you start it off then, Roger. Take it away.
Okay, so Splatoon 2, first and foremost, I think we're gonna see whatever the story mode is in this direct. I think we're gonna probably get like a full story trailer. We're gonna figure out what was going on with Marie. Why was she looking sad? Where is Callie? What's happened in the 2-year time skip, you know? So I do think we're going to see that. I actually think we're going to get an amiibo line for Splatoon 2 announced here. I think it's going to be backwards compatible with the original Splatoon, but I think we're going to get new Splatoon amiibos as well. Maybe like new designs for Callie and Marie based on their new story mode looks. Even though we haven't seen Callie, I'm just making the prediction because they're not going to put Marie in there and not have Callie. I mean, come on. And I think we're going to get an exact release date. And I actually have predictions for the exact release date. So I think we may get a release date on August 8th of this year. And the reason I say that is because, as you mentioned earlier, Andre, it seems like it might get pushed a little bit later into the summer. And how many tentacles do squids have?
Oh, jeez, 8.
Exactly.
Oh,
exactly.
God.
And it's 2, so it's 2 8s for Splatoon 2. So I think that would be a really smart. I think that'd be a really smart release date for them.
But that's a Tuesday.
Yeah, that's a Tuesday. Nintendo traditionally releases on Friday, so
doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. This is Splatoon 2. It doesn't matter. They can just go crazy. They'll release it. And if they don't, then I could see them releasing on a Friday, being July 7th. Being 7/7, and then maybe one of the story mode aspects is that maybe Callie and Marie are now missing a leg. And now
you want them to get mangled?
That sounds like some of the early drafts that came out for The Force Awakens, like with Luke's arm floating around in space holding a lightsaber.
That's it. You're gonna see one of Callie's tentacles just floating around.
Oh God.
So, but yeah, I think we're either gonna get it on 7/7 or 8/8. I don't know why. I just have a strong feeling.
That is all. I completely respect. Like I love how out there your predictions are, how specific they are. With that said, I completely disagree with the release date stuff. I don't think there's a chance in hell we see this game in July. I think we'll see it mid-August at the earliest. I can see September. So I hope you're right. I would love to get sooner than later. But if it releases in July, we're gonna have a big gap before.
Well, I kind of feel like September is gonna be Fire Emblem for us.
You think it's gonna be that early?
Yeah, absolutely.
But then,
if the holiday's gonna have Mario Odyssey, whatever gets announced at E3,
I mean,
plus,
that is,
like, dude.
That is true. I guess Hyrule Warriors did come out around September.
Yeah.
Man, you're just throwing a wrench in everything.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm guessing Warriors would be actually an October game. So
I could see early October for that one. It's hard to predict the release date. Single player is the one I'm caught up on. It's like, would they show? I'm trying to think how far out did they show the single player for that? Would they save the single player for E3 or something else? I'm not sure.
I am kind of with Roger. I think this is their time to blow out these games. Like I don't think they'll focus on Splatoon 2 too much at E3 at this point. This is kind of like their big push for it. And we'll see it again at E3. But this is the major thing. So yeah, I think we will find out more about the story. I really want to know like how Callie and Marie factor into this, because they of course factored into the first one a little bit, depending on your perspective. And I would love to see them take it to the next level. Like, what if you're working like alongside them or something in some missions? I don't know. I'm just making like blue sky here. But like, what if there's actually like some team-based mechanics in the campaign? Like, I would love if they really take this to the next level.
I keep saying how I want a co-op mode for the single player.
Oh my god,
that'd be
so
awesome.
much fun.
Yeah, that would be really cool. I think for me, I really just want to see them at some point team up with the Octolings. Like, I feel like that was a big missing component of the original Splatoon. Everybody wanted playable Octolings to the point where people were even hacking in textures to make playable Octolings. So I really, really want to see that in some way be announced. And I'm also curious who the villain of this is going to be. Do you think DJ, whatever that guy's name was it like DJ Octavian or something?
Yeah, DJ Octavio.
Okay, Octavio. Octavian's the octopus in Animal Crossing. But I'm wondering if that guy's going to make a return or if we're going to get a new...
He'll be back. I think he'll be back, but I don't think he'll be the only main villain.
Yeah. I mean, we haven't seen Cap and Cuttlefish yet, so who knows where he's at.
Maybe he's dead. 2 years. I mean, he was an old guy. Maybe he's dead.
Man, you want to go grimdark for Splatoon 2. My God.
Okay, come on. Splatoon takes place in an apocalyptic world where the only living creatures are squids, octopi, and then the one remaining cat who was cloned to have a baby cat. That's it. Those are the only things that live in this world.
It's kind of
It's
true.
already an apocalyptic game.
That's all subtext. You're going put it right in the forefront.
Huh?
I can't imagine it being longer than the original, because I think the focus is still going to be on the multiplayer. This is just, again, a training mode to get you familiar with the concepts of Splatoon 2, and who knows how much they might expand that, what new ideas they might come up with. I mean, I'm still really looking forward to it, and I'm not expecting a in-depth story or anything like that, but I like the mysteries they have, where the Octolings are back, or the Octarians are back, and they didn't steal the the great Zapfish this time. So what are they doing? Like, what's the plan this time? What are they up to? What will change about the overworld this time once we beat the campaign?
I think this will be the time that they announce the replacement or follow-up to the Splatfests. I think they're going to tell us what's going on with that.
I'm looking forward to those, honestly. That was like the most fun that I had during Splatoon, was going in for a Splatfest. I remember like the Pokemon Red vs. Blue Splatfest was great. The weird Transformers one that came out of nowhere.
Right?
And then the Japanese version even had like, didn't they have ramen flavors go against each other or something? Yes, SpongeBob.
Yeah, they did.
Dude, it's like, I am so unbelievably ready for Splatfest to return. I also think we're probably going to see in this Direct a lot of new weapons, which obviously is probably something we're going to see eventually, because right now we only know about 4 of them and their specials. But I do think we're going to see more weapons, and maybe even a new weapon type. I think that'd be kind of cool.
Yeah, I agree. I think we'll see at least one new weapon type, and I think they'll also finally show off the return of the Gatling and Sloshers as well.
Are you guys going to go in with any very specific weapon type predictions? Because I've got one that I think is very obvious and they haven't done yet.
Go for it.
Okay, I think we're going to get spray cans. I think we're going to get spray paint.
Ooh.
Yeah.
That's an interesting one. that'd be cool. That reminds me of Jet Grind Radio, and that game was amazing. So
yeah.
I can't quite see that working though, just because that's a spray and not like a liquid.
Right. Well, how I think it's going to work is that you basically shoot out a burst very similar to I think it'd be like a mix of the Charger and the Dualies. Because the Dualies, you're moving around very fast, you're shooting really quickly, but the Charger, you basically just shoot out one enormous burst. Right. Whereas with the spray cans, I think it would be like that enormous burst, but it would be the close range version of that.
It's like a shotgun?
So instead of like, yes, like a shotgun, exactly.
That's a good one. I mean, that's kind of, I guess that is kind of lacking, right? I guess a Slosher is kind of the closest thing we have to that, isn't it? Mm-hmm. All right.
I know I've got weird specific Splatoon predictions. I was thinking about it a lot.
So now I'm trying to think of my own, like what kind of weapons they should go with, like what kind of paint stuff they haven't done.
Watering cans.
There you go.
There you go.
So getting back to what you were saying earlier, Roger, I predict that we actually will be able to play as Octolings this time. Perhaps not in the main multiplayer, but I think there will be an Octoling mode of some kind. I don't know what it's going to be, but I think they will bring it in there just because they have to. Like, I feel like everyone wanted it. Now's the time to do it.
Yeah.
Who knows? Maybe the Splatfests are like Octoling invasions, where one team is Octolings, the other team is Inklings.
That would make sense. Yeah.
That would be really cool. I'd like that.
Yeah. Do you think they'll show off a new stage? Because we were actually talking about this before, Andre. We were looking at how many stages were announced, and it is 5. And the thing that kind of blew my mind is that the original Splatoon only launched with 5 maps.
Yep. Yeah, they can't do that again. It worked fine for Splatoon 1. They definitely can't do that again. Like, I was totally fine with it. But the fact that this game is largely the same, yeah, they can't pull that again. So I predict we'll see at least 2 new stages here. All new stages, no returning ones. We may see some returning ones too, but we'll see at least 2 all-new ones. Because they need to at least show us at least 5 new ones to match Splatoon 1 that doesn't include returning ones. So, because we already have, Moray Towers coming back, right?
I was literally just going to mention that. I think if anything's coming back, I don't know why I feel this, I have a feeling that we're going to see Salt Spray Rig come back.
I hope so! I hope so! That was so good. I will say, as much as I like the Splatoon 2 test fire, the arenas felt a little bit lacking to me. More because I think they felt too similar to each other. Like I for the longest time, or like for the first couple of test fires, I barely could even tell them apart. Whereas in Splatoon 1, the 2 stages in the test fire felt completely different because one of them was Salt Spray Rig. So I hope that one comes back. But that was a lot of fun.
Yeah. And then beyond Salt Spray Rig, the only one from the original game like I really want to see come back, mostly because it was very different and it was kind of unlike anything else that was in the game, is Mahi Mahi Resort. with the raising water.
Yeah, that was fun.
That was such a fun stage. And I like every time that would come up, if I just like will randomly turn on Splatoon every once in a while and that stage is on there, I will sit for like the full hour and just play Mahi Mahi Resort. Just because it's so much fun and it feels like a different game almost. So if anything returns, I'd like to see, like I said, Mahi Mahi and Salt Spray.
I don't think they're going to show 2 new stages. I could see them doing 1 new stage and 1 old stage. If they're going to show.
I also think when we saw Moray Towers for the first time, we saw the zip lines.
We did.
So I think if they bring any new old stages back, I think they'll have new features in some way.
That's fine.
totally.
And maybe that'll be explained within the story, like how those areas developed over the course of 2 years.
That's a good one. Yeah, that's what excites me, is seeing how, like, they've learned so much since Splatoon 1, and they even went back and modified stages in Splatoon after the game came out. I would love to see how they update the past stages similarly, to account for the new mechanics and everything they've learned since then. And plus, just add ziplines everywhere. I love the ziplines, and I've wanted them in multiplayer since ever since the first game, so I hope that they really just add them even more stages. I just want a stage with all ziplines. That's all I need. No ground, just ziplines.
There's a devious part of me that so hopes the invisible platforms will make it into the multiplayer.
Oh Jesus.
Actually, just see what they can do with that.
They would only be invisible though for like a short period of time because
exactly, but it'd still be interesting because you don't know where everything is. It's gonna be, I don't know. I find the concept intriguing.
Here, I have a stage idea. I want to be like in a rainforest where it's raining constantly, so like it's always like just sweeping away the ink you're laying down.
Oh, that sounds so fun,
right?
I can do you one better.
What?
Basically a biodome where the seasons change. So you get winter and the snow
awesome.
melts and that takes away the ink and stuff like that.
Yeah, biodome actually make a lot of sense in that universe. I feel like that's probably more Splatoon 3 material, but that'd be super cool.
I do kind of feel like one thing we haven't touched on, and I don't know if this will be in the direct, but something I kind of expect from Splatoon 2 is I think we're going to see Nintendo crossover content in this. Because Splatoon to me is sort of becoming an evergreen multiplayer title, very similar to Mario Kart and Smash Brothers. I feel like people are looking forward to Splatoon and it's becoming this like event franchise. And I think something that people even wanted in the first game were like Nintendo themed costumes. Maybe like a Link hat to give to your Inkling, or like a Mario hat, or his overalls or something. Maybe like the Mario Sunshine, the Hawaiian shirt. And so I think maybe, if not in this direct, then definitely by the end of the release of the game, maybe we'll see some type of Nintendo crossover content. And the reason I brought this up right now is because when you were mentioning ideas for stages and like the water stage where it's washing away some of the paint, I was thinking maybe they include like a Nintendo crossover stage in some way, and maybe have like one of the divine beasts from Breath of the Wild or something, and you're shooting inside of it.
Oh my god!
That would be really, really cool.
That'd be crazy.
Yeah, I mean, if they're going to do anything, if they're going to do any
Mario
crossover
Sunshine.
for a stage, it's always going to be Sunshine that people want first.
I mean, of course, people want Sunshine. Yeah.
Delfino Plaza, baby.
Yeah.
So good.
It could totally work too.
You actually brought up a good point, Roger. I think we will see a little bit more crossover content. Maybe not to that degree, but at least in terms of like the gear you can wear, probably. Because they want Splatoon 1 to stand by itself, and it's proven it has. So now, I think now that Splatoon is its own distinct franchise, they can easily do the crossover content without compromising or confusing people on what the game is exactly. So
Absolutely.
yeah, they could maybe that's how they tie in amiibo. Scan whatever amiibo you have, and you get costume stuff related to that. It could be the new pants, for instance, or shoes, which we know don't actually affect the gameplay. So that might be the way to do it.
If you scan in one of the Breath of the Wild Link amiibos and you get the Champion's tunic, I'm never taking that off.
I believe it.
The closest they got with the crossover costume stuff was the one ink girl, the squid girl from an anime. Like, they had her outfit. You could dress up as that, and I think that's about the extent of it.
Right.
But still, people really like that costume.
I'm pretty sure they had the Famitsu outfit too, right? Or was that the Famitsu outfit? Wasn't there like another Famitsu outfit?
I don't think so.
Remembering correctly?
I'm not sure.
I don't know.
Yeah.
I think there was.
I don't quite remember it, but yeah. I do want to put a disclaimer. All this stuff we're talking about, I don't think all this is going to be announced.
No.
Yeah.
Of course not.
Like, there's no way all this is getting announced. Like, it's probably going to maybe show off the single player, maybe get some new stages, 1 or 2, and maybe a release date, though I'm not expecting that. Those are my predictions. Maybe a new special as well. Like, they'll actually talk about the one that was launching the ink bombs. Except it was based on an old Nintendo toy that I never saw before. Yeah, I can't remember what it was, but there was some sort of launcher. I could see them going over that, or the weather machine.
Yeah, maybe. Alright, well I feel like we've covered Splatoon 2 pretty well, so let's go ahead and move on to ARMS. And I feel like this one's a bit trickier to make predictions for, because there really isn't... I mean, we know the basics of how it works. It's an arena-based fighter, so what you see is kind of what you get. Of course, there'll be intricacies to the gameplay that you'll pick up by playing it, but on the surface, we already know a lot about it. So it's going to be more in the modular content, like characters and stages, I think, that we're going to see blown out here. So I predict the game will have at least 12 characters in total, matching the original Smash Bros. In 64, and I think we'll see at least 3 new ones here as part of the Direct. Beyond that, I think we'll get a closer look at the arenas, because we've only played in one so far at the January event, and we only saw glimpses of a few of the others in the trailer. And we could see in those that they actually will have some gimmicks to them, like springs or trampolines rather, that bounce you up, or pillars that are in the way, and elevation changes. So I think they'll give us a better look at how that will play into the combat. And then finally, I think we'll learn how single player works. And that's what I'm really curious about, because I don't think they can give us a full, like, single-player adventure like in Splatoon, because the gameplay doesn't really lend itself to it.
I think this is totally going to be like the new Punch-Out. I think we're going to get, like, a Punch-Out style arcade mode. I mean, that's how this feels to me. Yeah, it's like, that's the kind of single-player I think we're going to get from this. I agree, it's probably not going to be, like, a story-driven one like Mortal Kombat, but definitely some type of single-player similar to, like, the Championships and Punch-Out.
I think Punch-Out is a great example. I love Punch-Out on Wii. So the character design here kind of actually reminds me a little bit of that too. So with the whole visual style. So yeah, they do that, I'm totally on board. I love that.
Yeah, the big hope for me is that the single player will highlight the personalities a bit more and really show off what they're all about. Because that's the fun part for me with fighting games, is seeing all the different personalities, see how they interact with one another, what kind of crazy things you can come up with there, and seeing how they just sort of interact. So I just want, go through, I don't know, 9 of the 12 fighters, get to your end, beat the super boss or whatever, see the ending, and have, I don't know, dancing with the Prime Minister or something like that, like Street Fighter. Just something ridiculous. And, just go all out for that kind of thing and just really show off the characters. And I think that's really what's going to sell them, is make these characters memorable, make them fun, make us really just fall in love with them, for
like
lack
Overwatch.
of a better word. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, and I actually think they've already been doing a good... Yeah, they've been doing a good job with that already, I feel like. I mean, you already see people campaigning for Springman and Ribbon Girl in the next Smash Brothers. Like, yeah, I think that's the nice thing about this, and why a lot of people look at this like Nintendo's Overwatch. It is because it's all about the characters. And I like that idea that you mentioned about the story mode, how like at the ending you might see like a little just like mini story about what happened after they won the championship or whatever. Because that is something I always liked when I was playing Street Fighter, so I wanted to see the character endings. So it would be cool to see those sort of fleshed out a little bit in story. Again, I don't think that would be in this Direct. I don't think they would show that off. But I think they would maybe at the very least announce what the arcade mode is. And I am expecting like at least 3 or 4 new characters. I am kind of hoping for 5. I kind of want them to just double down and show us 5 more.
That'd be good.
Yeah, I think the roster is probably going to be between like 12 and 16 though. So maybe not too many more characters after that. Maybe like a weird secret character at the end, like Lanky Kong or Little Mac or something. But like, something that would make sense.
It would feel wrong not to have Little Mac cameo in this. So who knows? But I'd love to see him in there. Don't know how they're going to do the stretchy arms thing, but it'd be cool.
Have they described what the deal is with that? Like, are these all cyborgs, or are they all like Inspector Gadget? There's
a little bit of a theory, because all the characters that have the springy arms have very strange eyes. However, Mechanica, who's in a robot that does that, her eyes are normal. So there's something up with the like Springman and Ribbon Girl and all that.
Huh.
See, spoiler alert, it was the Omnic crisis. They're all Omnics. And the new Diva ripoff is trying to take them all down by punching her way to victory.
I have no idea what any of that means.
Yeah, I don't either.
Oh, that's unfortunate. That's unfortunate. People in the comments, please let them know what I'm talking about.
Prediction: ARMS will get amiibo with special
agree.
springing arms. It's going to be amazing.
Oh, that would be cool.
Right.
Kind of like the Guardian amiibo, where you can actually position them.
Exactly. Yeah, just like that.
Wait, you could position the arms in the Guardian amiibo?
Oh yeah, you could.
Oh yeah.
What? I'm gonna go grab my Guardian amiibo right now. I don't believe.
How did you not do that?
I didn't.
Yeah.
Hold on. Wait 1 sec.
Oh, it's so good.
Yeah, you could totally do that. You could totally see them do that for Springman and Ribbon Girl. those are probably the two that would get the amiibo. Let's be honest.
Yeah. What?
I think
this
so.
is crazy. You guys, I didn't know you could do this.
Right? It makes it like 10 times better. It's like by far the best amiibo.
This is unbelievable. You just blew my mind. This is crazy, you guys. What?
Hey man, I do what I can. I'm here to help, man.
Now, what kind of, we talked a bit before about them actually announcing some sort of demo. What kind of demo would you like to see, Andre? Like, would it just be like single player fighting against the AI, or maybe being able to do local, or do you think it should be online?
Oh, it should be online. I think absolutely should be online. I think doing something like the test fire would be a really good idea for Nintendo. Like, there is something, I mean, although it's annoying that's limited to certain times, there is something cool about knowing the fact that you and everyone else are participating in this event at the exact same moment. Like, I like that idea. Granted, I think it's less important for ARMS to do that, just because it's, you know, one-on-one, of course. But I do think, at the very least, the demo needs to be online. So... Yeah, definitely. I'd love it. I'd love if they did that, just because I actually want to try it, you know? Everybody talks about it, and it's really interesting, because, you know, your first inclination is always to do the big movements, but you only need the little motions from your Joy-Con in order to get the results you want.
I think with the onslaught of everybody talking about esports, I have a feeling that there's going to be a big esports push for ARMS. And I think, specifically since we're seeing both Splatoon and ARMS in this Direct, I would not be surprised to see some sort of, like, teaser of some type of Nintendo esports league. Because we know, based on the news that came out last year, that they're looking on investing into esports and putting together championships for things. And it just so happens that two of the big games that would be perfect for that are going to be in a Direct together.
It's true.
So I actually think this would be the perfect opportunity for them to be like, listen, we're going to dip our toes into esports. We're going to have this tournament series. And going back to what you were talking about with the demo and playing online with each other, I think if we do end up getting a demo, I'm pretty sure it would just be the demo that we played at the preview event. I think even if they announce new stuff, I think it would just be that.
Except online or still offline?
I think it'd be online. I think it would be adjusted to play online.
Okay.
Because I agree. I think that was the big part of the appeal of playing Splatoon, was like testing it out with everybody at the same time and making an event of it. And this does feel very much to me like a new Splatoon-esque type series, where it's like you want to just play with other people and you want to experience this new IP for the first time together. So yeah, I think they might just adjust the original demo that we played at the preview event and be able to play it online. And yeah, I think it'd be awesome if they announced that the demo was live, like, immediately following the Direct. That'd be really cool.
That would be super cool.
That would
In fact,
oh man.
And the more I think about it, the more I think not only will it be online, I think they would do the Splatoon 2 route. Because they don't want people, like, you know, downloading the demo, playing as much as they want to gain their fill on the game. Because with it being an arena-based fighter, you can largely feel, you know, see how the game's going to play with just a single character even. So yeah, I feel like they would go the Splatoon 2 route, and man, I hope they do. And if they do announce it, Roger, at the end, oh my god, like, this is the perfect time for it. Like, this is the perfect time. Like, the gap right before Mario Kart, this is it. Let's do it.
It gives you something to play for a week outside of, you know, Zelda and Blastomaster and Snipper Clips and Fast RMX and
all the other indie games. Just go on forever. All right, guys. Any final predictions at all for the Direct that we haven't mentioned yet?
If as far as like other Switch stuff, because we did talk about the little bit of 3DS stuff, I would expect either some talk about the themes or maybe Fire Emblem Warriors very briefly.
Wait, themes?
As far as like themes for your Switch.
Oh, like, please! Oh my god! Oh, please!
I want that. I definitely want that. In fact, that's a spoiler for an upcoming video I have. But I don't think that will happen in this event. I think that might be something later in the year, like after E3, like a fall update or something. Probably accompany the whole online service.
Guys, once I could have my Frozen Elsa theme on both my 3DS and my Switch, it's done.
Oh man,
it's a wrap.
You're living in the past, Roger. It's all Moana now.
Oh, get out of here! Consider the coconut. Consider Splatoon.
Can I just say real quick how nice it is to have one of these again? Like, it feels like it's been forever since we've had a true Direct. And I don't know, we don't know if fully this is a true Direct yet, but it feels like the closest thing we've had in quite some time. And it's nice to be excited again. Like, we had the Nintendo launch, but we've been in a little bit of a lull here. So I think this is coming at a good time. Like, it's nice to be able to look forward to something. Wouldn't you agree?
Oh, totally.
Absolutely.
It's
one last thing.
Keep us hyped.
I was thinking about potential surprises, and if they could announce another Switch game here.
Oh my
I don't
God.
think they will, I don't think they will, but I think if we do see a new Switch game announced here, I could maybe see them announce a port of a Wii U game.
I could see that.
The game
possibly.
I'm thinking of right now that I don't think they would want to necessarily
Star Fox Zero.
Oh god, no! Don't trigger me. Come on now. I think if any of the popular Wii U games are going to get ported and they're not going to want to take up time at E3, I could see it being Super Mario Maker.
Oh no,
Super Mario Maker would be too big. That's
you don't
a huge
really.
game.
You think? See, I feel like that's Smash to me would be too big.
Yo, Smash is definitely too big too. I agree.
Yeah, Smash is definitely too big.
Yeah.
Mario Maker is definitely up there as well. To me, a level of game like that is like maybe like formally announcing Pikmin 4 or porting over like Pikmin 3.
I mean, Pikmin 3 is my favorite Pikmin game, so I'd be happy to see that.
We have Pikmin 4 coming, presumably. So, I don't know. Now that I think about it, I don't think I would think we'd be more likely to hear about a remake of Skyward Sword than we would another port from Wii U. Unless
there's no way we're getting a remake of Skyward Sword right now. If they announced that, that would be like way down the line.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
It's probably
it's
true.
Way too soon.
Yeah.
So Mario Maker, though, I think next time we see that game, it's going to be a true proper sequel. It's going to be Mario Maker 2 or Super Mario Maker.
Yeah.
We're not
New
getting
Super
another
Mario
port.
Maker.
I think the 3DS version is the end of the original Mario Maker line. We're going to see something new next. So
I do think if we're going to get a new Maker type game, I don't know if you guys talked about this on your channel at all.
Come on, Zelda.
I actually, as soon as I saw that GDC presentation, I was like, yeah, right, that is not a game. Like, if you remember with Mario Maker, that was how they came to develop Mario Maker anyway. It was a development tool for making levels for the new Super Mario Brothers games, and they're like, well, this is easy enough, let's turn it into a game. And as soon as I saw that footage, like, that looked way too good to just be a test demo. Like, having a raised 3D, 2D Zelda with Breath of the Wild physics, I'm like, no, man. And I don't think that would be announced.
So bad.
Yeah, I don't think that would be announced here. I think that's like an E3 2018 announcement. I don't even think that's an E3 announcement for this year. I think
I agree.
Breath of the Wild's good for this year for Zelda. But I absolutely 100% believe we are getting Zelda Maker on this system, and I think it's going to be whatever that was, with 3 different variations where you could switch between NES Zelda, Super Nintendo Zelda, and the Link Between Worlds Link. And I think that's coming out soon.
Anything.
Yeah.
Yeah, that'd be so cool.
Good. Like Mario Maker was a great game. I had a ton of fun with it, but people were pushing its limits, and you could do some super impressive things with it. But I think Zelda would just open the floodgates to potential for what people could do with a true Maker from Nintendo.
Yeah. It is interesting though. We didn't really talk today about Virtual Console much at all.
I don't think it's coming. In this.
I'm of the opinion that Virtual Console won't make an appearance until they reveal their online platform.
If they're going to talk voice chat, maybe now is the time to talk about that.
Maybe, but I have a feeling it's just not going to be brought up.
Yeah, I kind of feel the same way too. I think that might be an E3 thing, I believe.
Yeah, that'd be bigger, maybe bigger E3. I mean, if you want, we've said this before. If you're going to launch a Virtual Console on Switch and you want to make it a big thing that people will pay attention to, launch it with Mother 3. I mean, that's the no doubt
that's
thing.
an E3. Yeah, that's an E3 announcement. If they put in, Mother 3 on GBA Virtual Console or something. Now we're getting off the deep end.
Yes, we are. Roger, where can people find you at?
So people can find me at RogersBase on YouTube, on Twitter, and on Instagram. And I just recently opened up a second channel, Game and Vlog, which is exclusively for gameplay videos. So I still do discussions, and I actually have a new multicam series coming up on my main channel as well for Nintendo, so that's exciting stuff. But if you like Nintendo gameplay, be sure to subscribe to Game and Vlog. And I think we're less than 400 subs away from this point on the second channel from 5,000. And at 5,000, I'm giving away a Breath of the Wild amiibo set. So, get in your subscriptions now, because I'm choosing one of the 5,000 people. And again, we're very close. So, yeah.
Alright guys, thanks for watching. Of course, stay tuned to GameXplain for lots more on whatever this direct ends up showing, and other things gaming as well. Catch you later. Bye.